Gemini, there's been a lot of change in your world, some sudden change actually. And now you're getting into a flow, kind of a groove where there's a lot of hard work, but there's a lot of success indicated. Hi, I'm Finn, and this is Magic 7 Tarot. I've done a Magic 7 Tarot spread for your lunar return. So that's when the moon comes back into Gemini and touches either your sun, moon, or rising sign. And this is a good time to set intentions and also, chart a path forward for the month ahead. So we'll dive right into it. I've had a chance to sit with this reading for a little while now, and overall, it's a really good month for you. That being said, there's work, right? There's work and luck, and it's kind of an interesting balance here. But lots of energy, that's for sure. Okay, in the past position, we have Arcanum 10, which in the Brotherhood of Light Tarot, Arcanum 10 reversed. Brotherhood of Light Tarot, Arcanum 10 is the wheel, also known as the Wheel of Fortune in other decks. And reverse card does not mean negative or bad. It just means sometimes it takes a bit of time to manifest. Now, this probably didn't. This is Uranus, so it's sudden change. So in the immediate past, the last little while, had some changes in your environment, in your situation, or your thinking. It's a new way of thinking, and fairly radical changes. And Gemini tends to kind of go this way or that way, and uh, uh, while they have lots of ideas and lots of inspiration, uh, tend to not be as radical as some signs. But this represents to me some kind of radical change in your thinking or in your circumstance. And of course, because it's a general reading, it's going to be different manifestations for each person. The question I'd ask you, if you know your chart, is where is Uranus in your chart? Okay. And also the signs that are ruled by Uranus, like Aquarius. So, so these are the sorts of questions you would ask yourself. But now, when I see this card, for me, it represents um, lots of times a change brings disruption. And so you might have experienced this change as some kind of disruption to your regular routine or with your relationships or in your working environment. Again, the manifestation is always sudden, and it's always some kind of change. So it could be as simple as I'm walking down the street and I have an idea and I change my point of view. I mean, the amazing thing about tarot cards, and something that was taught to me, right at the beginning of my journey, 100 years ago, uh, is is that this is your thinking today, right now, as the new moon is coming around in Gemini. But if you change your thinking, the cards, the future is going to be different. I mean, I don't actually believe in fate. I believe fate is what you're thinking right now. So if you change your thinking on something, your fate, the outcome is going to be different. I mean, not just have a different idea, but really change. And I think you understand the difference between, oh, I have a new thought versus I've changed my point of view completely. So this represents some kind of radical shift in your point of view or in your circumstances, whether they be your relationship or your business circumstances, so forth. Something new has happened, something different is coming in. And Gemini, you welcome that kind of change. You like to shake it up. So this doesn't seem uh, there's modest disruption, I'll say, with this at the very least. I mean, some of you might have experienced, depending on how your Uranus is aspected in your chart, some kind of major disruption or upheaval. But the way the rest of the cards suggest to me, I don't believe that that's the case. So if things have gone along fairly smoothly, but you have a new perspective, that's that energy. If you've changed a job or you've changed relationships or something like that, that's that energy, some kind of change. Okay. So that brings us into the present, which we have the Five of Coins. Five of Coins is an incredibly lucky card. I mean, this is luck. So whatever change has in your thinking or in your circumstance has brought around a situation where you have a bit of luck. Okay, so the thing about luck is when you work hard for something and you earn it and you kind of hold it. Luck, can go up and down. I want to show you this card because I always think, look at it this way. The two figures are either, if you're on the outside of the wheel, you're either going up or you're going down, right? One is always going up and one is going down. When you're in the center of the wheel, you're always in the center. And so the thing about luck is that it doesn't last. I don't know how to say it. You're not going to be lucky every single day. Okay, so whenever you have luck, it's important to get on the center of this wheel. Okay, and put a little, let's say it's luck with money. I had a sudden, I got my tax return back and I got a lot more money than I expected. Okay, awesome. So if you're on the outside of the wheel, you're chasing that experience. So now I'm going to go buy that Christian Dior perfume or a cologne that I've been smelling or in my imagination, right? So, or I'm going to just stay with the course, stay the course, right? I have goals, I have wishes, things I'm trying to accomplish. So use the luck to your advantage. That's what I'm saying to you today. In other words, uh, uh, don't go crazy. Okay, because the luck's not really, it's not a lucky reading per se. Like in the moment, I think that there's a lucky change, right? Like that whatever changed, I read the past, present, future in this reading, as sort of a continuum. So whatever change occurred in the immediate past, whatever adaptation or new inspiration has led to, this kind of lucky thinking and inspiration. That's another way of saying it. I'm inspired to move forward in a new direction. Um, this is the Gemini decadent of Aquarius. So it's invention, it's inventive, it's new ideas, it's new situations. It's absolutely luck. Um, 5 is Jupiter in the Brotherhood of Light Tarot. So you've got your Gemini card, which means Mercury. So ideas, inspiration. Uh, I don't consider it radical, although it might be radical from where you were before, right? Some kind of change that leads to a lucky situation or a feeling, feeling comfortable in your own skin as well, right? Sometimes we're in a situation that doesn't suit us, so things become unsettled. And I think right now, as opposed to that, you're absolutely where you feel you're in your comfort zone. Okay. Um, there's certainly new conditions apparent here, and sorry, images are coming to me. Um, I don't know anything about horseback riding, literally almost nothing, although I've ridden horses. So, but let's say that this is a trot and not a gallop. Okay. The inclination is, wow, everything's breaking out. So I'm going to run for it. But I want you to be a little more tempered. The more you temper this energy, in other words, the more you don't get over the top with it or uh, let yourself run free, as it were, rein yourself in a little bit. I don't know why the horse metaphors this morning. I'm certainly not a cowboy in any way. It's really positive. Okay, Gemini. This might have felt incredibly disruptive to you. Now, I've sort of spun it as a good change, but some of us don't really like change, and especially change that's thrust upon us can be incredibly disruptive to your routine and to your well-being. But this feels like you've kind of come through that change and found some equilibrium. It's very lucky. So, when it's sunny, enjoy the sunshine, right? But that doesn't mean it's not going to rain one day. Okay? And I see a lot of hard work and I see some struggles here too. Although nothing like you've been through before. Okay? These aren't struggles of a nth degree. These are minor obstacles on the way to being yourself. Sometimes the phrases just come out and I don't know where they come from. Okay. In the immediate future, we have Arcanum 19, the sun. Again, this is a beautiful card. I mean, this is everything coming to fruition. This is the sun, uh, uh, literally the planet, the sun. It's Leo, right? So it represents the entertainment business. It represents, speculation. So if you're taking, let's say, you want a bit of money at the track, again, horse racing, what the heck? If you have anything to do with horses, you got to leave a comment for me today, because I don't know why I'm using that metaphor at all. Okay, but let's say he won some money at the track. Okay, this is like, I'm going to keep winning, right? So be careful about that. It's speculation. Okay. Okay. So don't take your winnings and bet bigger. You understand, if you're a gambling person. And and it may be that you had a little windfall right here, or in the next little while there's the possibility of some kind of windfall, something coming to you without really working very hard for it. But that's not the real sort of message of the overall reading. So don't get misled by the luck of the moment. Okay. So this is also represents marriage or happy relationships. It is reversed in this reading. So you, uh, reverse being, I don't quite realize how lucky I am. I don't realize the thing that I have that's so beautiful, or I'm slow to realize it. Okay. I might be excited by the change. I might be excited by my bonus, my windfall. Okay. But, there's true love here. Okay. And whether that's, the love of your new direction or the love of another, all of those things are indicated. Um, the, this new perspective that you've gained, is leading to some overall success. Okay. So keep following it. Okay. What the reading says to me, I don't want to jump ahead too much, is that, you're on this path. We're all on the same path, is to find ourselves. But, over this next month, these changes are forcing you to dive deep and really find out who you are and what you really believe in. Okay. So what you need to control is Arcanum 20, which is the sarcophagus, also, which is the moon. So here you have the sun and the moon, right? This is really positive. So the thing about this card, as opposed to this card, this is sudden stuff. This is incremental change. So you might become impatient with how long things are taking to manifest. Wow, big surprise, right, Gemini? When were you ever impatient before? Okay, so this is asking you to control the incremental quality of life. Okay, to manage your expectations and keep your patience in check. I mean, when things fall in your lap, it's easy to become impatient, right? What's the next big great thing that's going to happen to me? Um, this is a beautiful card about, uh, finding. You see, the man and the woman are united. I mean, this is a metaphor for the yin and the yang, right? And then we have the sun and the moon here. So there's definitely in your journey this month, there's this coming together of your intentions, your what gives you power, and what floats your boat each day. And the thing that's going to be harder for you is the everyday part, the mundane part. Because no matter how much money floats into your world, or luck, or new things that excite you, okay, you got to put on your socks. Right, one foot at a time. There's a domestic situation that has got to happen each day, each and every day. Okay, got to wash the dishes, and uh, clean up the newspapers from the weekend. Okay, so this might start to make you feel a bit antsy. Okay. So the more you can embrace that domestic quality, I mean, especially with Uranus and the Sun card here, it's going to feel like the outside world is super exciting and the inside world is, a little boring. Could feel that way. This is also relationships with, your reflective quality. Okay. So upon reflection, you know, there's no doubts here. But if I could say one thing, is that there's hard work set here. It's almost like you're breaking free into this new situation that gives you a lot of, like, uh, how would you say it? Self confidence. But it's more than that. It's more like you're radiating your authentic identity. But the environment itself isn't ready for you yet. So, it's almost like, this is the seedling sprouting. This now it's catching the light and it's growing. You got to water it every day, whatever it is. So, whatever new has come into your life, okay? I'm going to just say it that way. Something changed, and that change is creating this new dynamic that requires your attention each day. And it's not just outside of you, it's not just in the environment, it's not other people, just other people. It's also your way of thinking about it and the way you reflect upon it. Changeableness, incremental effort, okay? Still very positive, Gemini, okay? Be inspired. I mean, that's overall, this is what I see, some kind of new inspiration for you that's leading to really who you are. Like, not who you're becoming, not like, not the external thing, like uh, my metaphors are really off base today, about what you do. So let's say I was a supervisor at work, and now I've been promoted to be a manager at work. Okay, that's the external part of it, right? Like, some kind of change, some new money, okay, and new responsibility. There's no money without more responsibility. There's nothing more without more responsibility, whatever that more is. I got more worries, I got more children. Okay, I mean, this could be children too. And if that's the case, congratulations, because it's beautiful, right? Right? Something, this definitely could have been some kind of news in the past that leads you to realize you're having a child now. And let me know if that's the case, because, I pick up these strands, and because it's general, I can't say, well, Mike, you're going to do this, and Susie, you're going to do that. It's just not possible here. I always call this the emotional weather report. Okay, so here's the energy, right? That's the weather, right? And then, don't forget to bring an umbrella. It's sunny, but with a chance of showers, right? And so if you're only focused on the sunny parts, you're going to get your hair wet. You might get your hair wet. Okay, what's the environment for this situation is the Two of Coins. So the Two of Coins, this is also air. It is the Aquarius decadent of Libra, and two being Virgo. So um, it's Mercury, it's Uranus. Oh yes, I mean, Uranus is the upper octave of Mercury, right? It's the one card plus a zero, right? So it's next level. It's next level thinking. Huh, Gemini. Sometimes those phrases will come to me. So I mean, next level thinking is an amazing way of describing the situation for you, right? So Two of Coins, though, is hard work. I mean, this is some luck falling into your lap, and we all need a bit of beginner's luck when we start something new. That energizes us, and I see that energy here. Then there's the day to day. I got to go to work each day. I got to do the same thing each day, and that's the sort of plotting sensibility of this. It's hard work. Okay, it's hard work and responsibility. So whatever this situation is that's entering your world and giving you a bit of a boost, making you feel good. I mean, this is good. These are good feelings too. There's hard work to maintain it, or the context, the whole situation is about hard work. This is also inspiration. Okay, so when you're inspired with your work, it doesn't feel as difficult, right? Especially for you, Gemini. Like Gemini is the kind of sign that uh, they get hot on something, and as long as they're hot on it, and everyone else thinks it's cool or good, it's easy for them. But it's really quickly they can get kind of tired of that and bored of that. So they need a little bit of it's like my cats, they always want a treat, right? Gemini's a bit like that. They always want a treat. Now the treat doesn't have to be some windfall. It could just be the sense that the environment is giving you back what you're putting out there. You like to feel like you're on the right track. You intuit that track all the time. You're always kind of testing it, pinging it, right? Feeling it out. So this is responsibility. So no matter what the new situation is, or whatever luck you have, your responsibilities aren't going away. They're just not. Okay. So make sure you take charge of that. Hmm. Independence, a new outlook. This is independence, right? Uh, and that could be the change. From dependency, I worked for someone else, to I've got my own thing going now, and it's a lot of work and it's a lot of responsibility, but it's bringing together my sun and my moon. It's bringing together my whole thing, and I really feel that that's the case for you, Gemini. It's coming together for you, and that's an amazing. This month is going to feel, uh, like you're wearing new shoes, right? You're breaking it in, and some days your feet might hurt a little bit, but stay in the light, because the luck is not random. The luck is something. I don't believe in luck. I believe you attract what you're ready for. And so even if you had some disruption in the past that led to that, it's really the right path. You're on the right path. You feel that already. You don't need me to tell you. Okay. And those of you who are not feeling it, uh, uh, dig deep, right? Don't indulge yourself. Okay. Because the energy here suggests that, even if this was disruptive in a negative way, and you're not liking the change that's come through, the cards indicate that you're heading in the right direction. Sorry, the images come to me sometimes and they interrupt me, so I have to kind of finish my sentence and then go to the image. You can reach the promised land two ways, right? You can get dragged there, right? Screaming and kicking, or you could be open to the change and the inspiration, and this new independence. And even though it's hard work, you relish in it because it's a new experience for you, and it's life. And so life has ups and downs. There's no question about it. Okay, let me just say what opposes you is the Six of Swords. This is the hard work part. Okay, this is the sort of an indecision. There's this line: indecision above all else is worse than a bad choice. Right? So if you're thrust into a new situation and you're finding your way and you're feeling inspired, maybe, or excited, or gee, you just plain feel the responsibility and the grind of it a bit. This is a bit more grind, right? And so it's saying, don't be indecisive about it. At least know where you stand. Okay, if you're not able to stand where you want to be, know that this is not where I want to be. I want to go somewhere else. Okay, this is not a terrible card. Okay, it just represents to me the Gemini quality of changeableness, right? Geminis like to kind of go this way and that way and this way and that way. Okay, so this is a bit less like that. This is more workaday, but it's not negative in any way. It's, again, responsibility. You're inspired. You have a new vision of who you want to be and where you're going. You could definitely have some luck along the way, and a romance, or this could be some kind of new romantic situation entering your world, or the solidifying of a romantic situation. Okay, maybe some news came to you about someone who liked you, and now you're sort of bringing that to fruition, and you feel lucky about that, right? Who wouldn't feel lucky? You're on the right path, Gemini. If I could summarize it in one sentence, which seems to be hard for me today, you're on the right path. And how does this come out? Is the King of Cups, King of Coins reversed? Okay, so the final outcome is self-knowledge. Let's call it that. Okay, this is the Gemini card. Reversed in a reverse court card usually means the opposite sex. So it could be, or it could be a part of yourself. But because you're Gemini, I'm kind of taking that as yourself. Okay, certainly there could be a new person who is similar to you in lots of ways. They have lots of ideas, really creative, positive, um, and but the inner meaning of this card is I know. You, so the path of the tarot is towards self knowledge, and if that's the case, then this month is perfect for you. Some change, some luck, a little bit of hard work thrown in there to remind you that you're still in a physical form, right? The angels don't have to struggle every day, right? Just us humans. Okay. It's part of it. Okay. And the more you accept that as part of your journey, the easier this month is going to be from my point of view. Okay. Let's pull a couple of other cards for you. If this resonates for you, I'd love to hear. And if it doesn't resonate for you, I'd love to hear that too, because it's general. I can't make it about you specifically, so I try to cover it, in a very general way. Uh, uh, my channel's still pretty new, and so I appreciate it if you subscribe or like or make a comment. That really helps me get along the way. So we'll do a wild unknown archetype for you for this month, Gemini, and then in a couple of weeks I'll check in with you. Okay. Eternal Spirit, we have an archetype for Gemini for this month. Desire to know the truth. What archetype can we give Gemini this month to help them on their journey? A desire to know the truth. If you've watched me, I shuffle and I cut into 3 piles, and I do that 3 times. It's my process. Gemini, Sun, Moon, Rising. What archetype resonates for Gemini this month to help them on their journey towards self-knowledge? Because that's what it seems like to me. This is the journey of self-knowledge. Work, sudden change, inspiration, a new perspective, independence. What archetype can we give to Gemini this month, Spirit, that will help them on their journey? Desire to know the truth. Here we go. All right. The King. The King. This is the Gemini King. You rule, Gemini. That's what this is saying to me. By the way, if you haven't seen these cards, aren't they gorgeous? I just love them. Okay, but let me read it to you because, so, the king, I always think of like the king in Greek mythology, right? There's the Rex and the, what is it, Oedipus Rex and Oedipus Tyrannus, right? There's the king that rightly ascends, and there's the king that usurps the throne. But in your case, this is the proper ascension. I mean, this is the outcome of the hard work you've been doing. If our lives are imagined as a kingdom containing the entire spectrum of human experience, the king presides over it all. Through the lens of the king, we assess the state of our land, make decisions, and rule accordingly. Therefore, the king must be thoroughly and regularly vetted so as to avoid corruption. Recognize the dual nature of the king. He is either seated in benevolence and strength, guiding you towards peace, or he is oppressing the weak out of a need to control. There's not much middle ground. Some think of the king as the ultimate expression of the ego, yet the great kings of mythology and history serve from an egoless place, authentic place, right? I mean, this is really what I see for you, that king of coins at the end, right? That's your authentic self-knowledge, right? They take their throne with grace and humility, knowing the divine uses them as a channel to heal deep and long-standing discrepancies in the kingdom. Benevolence, divine leadership, service, and nobility, right? So manage these tough moments nobly, right? Like you're the king. Because we're all king, queen of our own dominion, of our own lives. That's a beautiful card, Gemini. I really do feel like you're coming into yourself, and that's an amazing place to be. and the only things that are standing in your way energetically are this sort of sense of the drudgery of it all, the responsibility of it all. Okay, hard work. Um, you know, don't let any antagonism get in your way. Okay, the king is going to let that roll off their back, right? It's beautiful. It really is beautiful. Okay, we'll do one more card for some inspiration. This is the Sacred Destiny Oracle card. Eternal Spirit, what can we give to Gemini to inspire their journey this month through these changes, this luck, or potential hard work and antagonism and responsibility? I desire to know the truth. What inspiration can we give Gemini in these new conditions for them? Right? It's a new situation. I desire to know the truth. What's best for them, for the world, and for the universe this month? Spirit, how can we inspire Gemini on their journey? I desire to know the truth. When a card flips up, I just put it back in the deck because I do my cutting of the cards. That's my process. You can have your process. I do my process. Desire to know the truth. Some readers will let every card that falls out be the card. That's just not me. Okay, what did we get here? Pleasure. Beautiful. I love that. I mean, this is pleasure, right? You know, this is love. This is like having a great time, full heart, right? You know, and this is definitely, you know, it's nothing like luck to make you feel pleasure. I'm going to read the card to you, and we'll finish there. I don't think it needs much description. Pleasure is pleasure, but taking pleasure in the tough moments too, right? I mean, I'll say that, right? Like, it's easy to get caught up in and wishing everything was luck and easy. Okay, so when the more you're focused on luck and everything falling in your lap, when some difficulties emerge, um, some antagonistic feelings or situations come your way, you could easily feel bummed out. But what I'm going to say to you is take pleasure in solving those problems, right? When there's a problem in the king doesn't go, oh wow, I was the king and everything was so good and now I got all these problems. No, they manage them, they solve them. Okay. Savor your life, each and every part of it. Take pleasure in slowing down and experiencing each of your senses. Taste your food with full gusto. Inhale the sense of the world around you. Enjoy the colors and textures of your life. This is truly a stop and smell the roses card. Embrace your sensuality. Gemini, have some fun. Making love. This is, if there was a card for making love, that's one of them for sure. Move in a languid way. It's asking you to embrace this day to day. Let pleasure be your password into every intimate part of your life. Allow your life to be less about being productive and more about enjoying each moment with verve, and a radiant energy will flow through you in all directions of your life. Hard work, some antagonism and irritations, okay? But those are the distractions of your life here. And what we see instead is a coming to self-knowledge and rulership. Gemini, this looks like an exciting month. I'd love to hear how it turns out for you. I'll check in with you in a couple of weeks and see how you're doing. Okay, good luck. Peace.